All right, so today is the very last day of July 2025, and you guys know what that means. I'm going to do kind of like an overview of my profits for this month in my Robinhood account, but I also have some earnings to go over. And the third thing that I want to touch on today was actually kind of like my thoughts on where I want to take this channel in the future and kind of like a shift in the layout of my videos, because right now my videos are kind of generic. I know like this whole screen record setup that I got going on, it makes it very easy on me, but it's also like what a lot of people already do. I mean, if you look at my channel right now, it basically looks like every other sub 1,000 subscriber YouTube channel that all they do is just screen record. So I'm thinking about kind of switching up my setup, investing a little bit of my own money into some kind of a setup. I don't really know what I have in mind yet, but if you guys have some ideas that you want to shoot down below. I don't know about a face reveal yet, because even though my identity is probably not very hard to guess at all, I don't really make any effort into concealing my identity, but I still kind of like normal life. Even though I don't even have 1,000 subscribers yet and I'm not famous at all, I kind of like just want to be normal, you know what I mean? So I don't really know how I feel about face reveal or anything like that. It's not because I'm insecure and I'm ugly or whatever. I promise you, I'm not ugly, I'm not fat. But I guess that's what everybody that is ugly and fat would say. But anyways, my account is down 3.2% today, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. My Roth IRA is down 2.32%, so I assume AMD was down today. And this was on a day where the NASDAQ was down over 0.5% today. And of course, to update my transaction history, unfortunately, MAA did go down a lot today. I want to say it was like 4%, so it's not a lot, but it is a lot for a REIT. But I also did close out my Robinhood covered calls that expire August. And even though the likelihood of Robinhood hitting $140 per share by August 29th is very low, the probability is very low, I just kind of have this habit of closing my options whenever I make about 50% profit. I don't always follow it. You know, sometimes I make the majority of my premium. Sometimes I make only a little bit. So it's just kind of whatever I'm feeling. Usually it has to do with time. So if there's still a lot of time or a decent amount of time on my option contract, then I tend to kind of close that out. It's kind of like my process. If there's a lot of time and I make about 50% of the premium, then I'm probably just going to close it because there's still that possibility of that stock making a comeback. Let's go down to my options. So as you can see, I no longer have those covered calls. I still have the 125, which is a lower strike and expiring all the way out in December. But I decided to keep that one because the other covered calls that I had expiring in August, it was only about $100 left of the premium. So, I mean, I can live without $100. It doesn't really matter. But that is $200. That is 200 shares that I'm taking off of the market, and there's no risk of those shares getting called away. And I just have this lot of 100 shares that I basically have to worry about getting called away. And there's still a decent amount of premium on it. So if my entire Robinhood position does go down for the remainder of this year, like the second half of this year, Robinhood just continues to go down or just stagnate, then these like this very little bit of premium will somewhat help me out a little bit. But taking a look at my portfolio performance, Robinhood was down almost 3.5% today. Nike down almost 3%. Palantir down 0.5%. Pepsi down 3.5%. RAPX is down over 2% today, which is interesting because I believe Trump had just made a deal with South Korea saying that they need to buy a lot more American energy. And I think he also did a similar deal with Europe. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure he did a $100 billion deal with South Korea to buy our LNG and basically buy more energy from the US. So you would think this news would benefit a company like RAPX that is an American company, but it's whatever. SoFi is actually up today on a red day, up almost 3%, and it was actually up a lot more earlier in the morning. It was up over 8%. Lemonade also surprisingly green today. It was up over 6% at one point. And for some reason, the REIT that I invested in is down over 5% for the week. All right, now let's go over earnings. So I believe MasterCard did report today earlier in the morning, and they did pop over 3.5%, but now they're closing just slightly above 1%. And one of the companies that I own personally, Norwegian Cruise Line, was up over 14% today. Roblox was up over 20% today, but closing just above 10%. Apple and Amazon don't really know what they want to do on their earnings. I guess everybody's still kind of burnt out over Meta and Microsoft. Like all the money was just funneled into that. But the shining star, at least from what I've seen today, was actually Reddit. Reddit was up almost 20%. Maybe it was up 20% at one point. Actually, yeah, I think they were. Well, for the day anyway, they're up over 20%. And man, I mean, just add that to the list of my disappointments and regrets that I have, which is not buying Meta, not buying Microsoft, not holding on to Altria, not buying Generac, not buying Reddit, not buying Roblox, I guess, not owning more Norwegian Cruise Line. So just add that to my list of disappointments, I guess. And if we take a look at my monthly gains, at least what it says on Robinhood, my account value has gone up over $20,000. But the spreadsheet that I use to track my trades and my dividends and whatnot, my interest payments, I am sitting at $1,235. And that is coming from $1,292 of my trading. Majority of that is Palantir and Robinhood covered calls. So I did roll out my Palantir covered calls, making some money off of that. And then just like I showed you guys with my Robinhood covered calls that I've been trading in and out of this month, that also helped juice that number up. But I also did collect over $212 in dividends, but then I paid Robinhood $269 in interest. And year to date, my account is now sitting at about 87%. That's year to date. For year over year, it's about 212. And of course, at all time is 362.